Greetings, dear friends. Today I want to tell you about the state of affairs of my investigation that I have been conducting for more than a year. It concerns the activities of the Psychotronic Mafia that has been operating in Kyiv since the days of the Soviet KGB. Those who watched my previous videos know that it is about an organized criminal group, which commits commission crimes on the basis of a psychotronic station called a government communication station. It is located in the central part of the botanical garden named after Fomin in the city of Kyiv at the address Leo Tolstoy 1618 in 30 meters from the state enterprise U. Krespinets Byazov. This enterprise serves technical radio-electronic nodes of the station on radio-electronic reconnaissance. Having had great success in the process of organizing and conducting Ukrainian revolutions with the help of this station in 2015, Arseny Yatsenyuk, as Prime Minister of Ukraine, gave the so-called government communication station the status of a state facility, officially granting it the appropriate powers. The profile of the government communication station is the mental control of the population, including protesters. It is the persecution of citizens undesirable to the Masonic order, racketeering, suicide, remote execution with a cyberknife, provoking disease, and much more. Important detail. Psychotronic station workers are connected to the criminal world and leak them the information they need. The Psy operators cover up the wealthy and prosperous in corruption. The services of this fascist station can be used by any high-ranking politician or oligarch who has access to the station. It is just necessary to pay a tidy sum to the psychotronic operators, and a person, even an innocent one, will be tortured for decades until the victim breaks down. So the current situation is as follows. At the moment I have filed a statement of claim with the court demanding to recognize the inaction of the State Communications Service of Ukraine unlawful. It is this service that is responsible for the radio-electronic reconnaissance station of the aforementioned facility. In addition, on April 14th of this year I filed a statement to the Darnitsa Department of the National Police, in which I stated my demands to enter a statement about a contract killing committed by an operator in a psychotronic station into the register of pre-trial investigations. I recall that the reason for this serious crime was my wrongful dismissal from the office of the National Security Service of Ukraine. It turned out that Viktor Yushchenko, whom I considered as my second father, together with Yuri Dmityuk, simply decided to get rid of me because my pro-state anti-corruption position apparently did not coincide with the plans of the head of the RNEO apparatus, Yuri Dmityuk, the right hand and lobbyist of Viktor Yushchenko. Moreover, I had good prospects to become an influential person on the political arena. All this did not suit Viktor Yushchenko, who, having declared a democratic course, wanted to remain Kuchma too. The grounds for the investigation I cited my videos posted on YouTube channel. Well, in addition to this statement, in the period from 14 to the 28th of April I called line 102 5 times by phone with an oral statement that I was using torsion and microwave radiating equipment. And I clearly indicated the time of the exposure, and it was in all cases at night. That is, in fact, the operators of the psychotronic station of the state telecommunication were caught by the hand. And now I have every reason to demand appropriate procedural actions. In the future I will certainly inform you about the results of this appeal. I would only like to specify that the deportation service is headed by Yuri Fedorovich Shigel, to whom I have repeatedly complained about the illegal actions of his subordinates. But apparently Yuri Shigel did not fully understand the consequences of my treatment, so our communication will be transferred to the legal plane in the future. Meanwhile, I would like to inform you that first of all, people need to know about the psychotronic stations. First of all, since Stalin's times there have been certain democratic transformations all over the world, so the penitentiary system has little by little lost its relevance. It's no longer profitable for the state to keep large numbers of prisoners as it used to be. That is why the Gulag was replaced by technologies of remote mental influence on a person called psychotronic terror. In its meaning, it is the same as an attack on critical infrastructure. Only in this case a living human or an animal is used as infrastructure. Secondly, with the fall of the socialist model, which was guarded by the KGB, psychotronic equipment was passed into the hands of the capitalism-oriented governmental elites. And the main purpose of psychotronics is not the preservation of political order but the preservation of social order and capital accumulation by the elites. This is why the psychotronic terror to which people are subjected is always connected to the financial interests of the governmental mafia. Protecting the psychotronics is a means to preserve their power. Simply put, the cause of psychotronic terror is overwhelmingly money. Money and corruption, which is impossible to defeat because the psychotronic weapon is the guardian of corrupt relations. As soon as a person crosses the road of the governmental mafia, he immediately gets to the neurocomputer. A separate side of this terror is economic crimes, which are prevented by operative activity of special structures. But we will not touch upon this side, because it is a separate topic lying in the area of criminal prosecution. We speak only about illegal activities which are carried out by the psychotronic mafia. Such activities include racketeering, contract murders of undesirable people, cleansing of the elderly population, as well as terrorizing people by inflicting microwave traumas which cause oncological diseases. The same applies to provoking brain hemorrhages in people caused by torsion irradiation and low-voltage strikes. Now about the psychotronic technology itself. You should know that psychotronic terror is carried out by satellite. It is the satellite link which bounces the psychotron beam off the Earth and directs it towards the victim, allowing operators to terrorize people anywhere on the planet. That is why the space agencies of the countries that possess psychotronic weapons are involved in the scheme of the psychotronic terror. In Kyiv, such satellite equipment is located on the roof of a residential building at Lva Tolstogo 25, which is 1.5 kilometers from Kreshchatik. Connected to Metro Universitet were used during the Orange Revolution and the evolution of dignity. Further, the International Telecommunication Union allocates radio frequency bands among the countries, but the international organization is not responsible for the allocated radio frequency bands. The country which was allocated the radio frequency band is responsible for it. Theoretically, legal responsibility for the use of radio frequency resource in the format of the cyber investigation should be borne by the national regulator of radio frequencies. But I found out that in Ukraine, for example, the national regulator did not allocate radio frequency resource for psychotronic station. That is why it is safe to say that this station for electronic surveillance, classified by the state secrets, is outside the law. And everything that goes on there is illegal, unconstitutional activity. Let me tell you more about the technology with which this station is equipped. The station is equipped with modern computer technology operating in tandem with the psychotronic neurocomputer connected to the human brain. The computer receives all brain information of a victim, including auditory, visual and psychosomatic information such as reactions to pain and emotional state of a person. Besides, the station is equipped with the absolutely magnetic resonance tomography, which the medicine has never even dreamed of. The tomography allows the operator to see the body tissues at the cellular level, including the nerve fibers, which is impossible for the common magnetic resonance tomography apparatus, for example. All this allows the station operators to collect information about people from their very birth. In addition to that, a person who falls into a psychotronic operator's development has their memory pulled out of their brain neurons. Because our memory contains memories in the form of pictures and videos, by pulling the memory from the human brain, the operators can see it as a video film. By inserting pieces of your memory into video editors, the psychotronic operators can manipulate you by showing you artificial dreams generated on a neurocomputer at night. Blackmail, intimidation and racketeering are carried out in this way. The dreams may be accompanied by pain syndromes sent from a neurocomputer in the form of electrical impulses similar to those generated by our brain. The favorite trick of all operators is to remotely hit a person on the head with a bat or stab him with a knife, and the sensation is terrifying. When a person sleeps, they literally feel the physical pain of being stabbed. It's called V2K. You can read about it on the internet. This technology allows operators not only to torture you with radio voices, but also to create involuntary movements of the victim's body by neuroimpulses, to broadcast videos to your brain, to create images and hallucinations in your subconscious mind. It's important to know that the operators, having no time limit at their disposal, can be invisibly present in your head, virtually unnoticed by you. And all of your thoughts are reflected on their monitor as text. The torture of radio voices is also created by a special program, artificial intelligence. The meaning of this program is that you continuously hear comments to your thoughts in your brain all day long, voiced by a bot program. To distinguish the program from a live person, you must ask a number of silly nonsensical questions. In all cases, the program will work out your questions, giving a logical commentary on them. The operator, on the other hand, does not behave like this. From time to time they sit behind the microphone or in the transmission zone of your biofield and communicate with you in combination with the irradiating generators as they wish, i.e. harassment by radio voices combined with irradiation. The psychotrons sit in a special equipped place under a magnetron-like hood. This magnetron device via a satellite beam aimed at the victim transmits your electromagnetic biofield to the operator's brain, which allows the psi operator to instantly sense everything the person feels and also sense your thoughts with ease, understanding what you are thinking about. That is, in fact, it is electromagnetic telepathy for which distance does not matter. The magnetron is so sensitive that your thoughts are transmitted to the operator at a speed of less than 1 second, and it is impossible to conceal these thoughts because they are formed at the subconscious level, and the conscious mind is not subject to thoughts, so this technique can easily be used as an interrogation equipment, for example, to verify the guilt of a person in serious crimes. But it has to be said that the operators don't feel the suffering that you feel, because your brain is captured by the beam and the operator is simply a bio-receiver of brain and psychosomatic information. In addition, the psychotronists have a torture mode. When the sound goes to the skull at high volume and paired with electromagnetic interference causing intolerable pain, noise and whistling in the head, the person taken on the computer is turned into an incoming video camera by getting all the video information from his or her eyes and hearing organs from his or her brain. All the obtained information is transmitted online to the operator on the computer monitor without any listening devices. And most importantly, these technologies are the reason why the civil service is ineffective and unproductive. Civil servants are afraid to make a single step to the left or right for fear of punishment by psychotronics. The entire civil service is monitored by these fascists for decades, and the slightest transgression threatens a civil servant that he will be irradiated with torsion and microwave generators as punishment. For an ordinary transgression, they can be burned by microwaves and beat his head with electromagnetic rays, causing severe headaches which cannot be cured by medication. That's because the psychotronic computer can control the victim's blood pressure and create severe vascular spasms. Not to mention the draining of energy from the nervous system, resulting in pathological fatigue and exhaustion. One of the favorite Masonic punishments is the execution of the victim's elderly parents, sterilization of women using microwave irradiation, and cauterization of tissues and body organs. As a consequence of this, the victim can get an organ cancer or blood cancer. This can also include the management of the phases of human sleep, which psychotronists use to maintain the caste-based nature of the civil servants in the category of superiors and subordinates. For example, if you are a subordinate, the operators will never let you come to work at 8 a.m. as your superiors do. You just can't physically do it because they won't let you sleep. It's Masonic technology. And finally, let me mention one of the most terrible technologies, which is armed with a psychotronic station operating under the dubious name of Government Communication Station. Is a lethal weapon called a torsion cyberknife. It is a concentrated beam of charged electrons which affects the area of the body indicated by the operator on your digital twin, reflected by the psychotronist on the monitor. The cyberknife penetrates the cellular level directly into the human body. It can cut organs, burn the nervous system, and even castrate the victim. By cutting off a person's nerve endings by severing them from the spine, the psyker turns his victim into a living corpse devoid of feelings and emotions. In this state, the person will have to live for several years, and not everyone can defeat this condition. If the cyber knife is not used to its full capacity, the person may survive but will be disabled for years. In this case, recovery can take 10 years or more until the nerve fibers grow back. With all this, it should be known that every public servant who dares to disobey the Masonic Mafia can get a low-voltage electric shock. What to do with it, let it be decided by the Ukrainian society, which does not understand the essence of the social problems. And I am telling you all this only because Viktor Yushchenko's mafia, who ordered me to the psychotronics of the station of duty telecommunications, apparently poorly learned the lessons that George Gangadze taught Ukraine. The executioners of the government communication station, I was left with no choice in having warned Katyug about the impending criminal responsibility for this crime. I simply defend my life and the lives of my family members who are threatened with death every day by the sadists. At this moment, the executioners of the so-called governmental communication station, in order to prevent the release of this video material, are threatening me with radio voices. I quote verbatim, The Masonic government has sued you to death and there will be no other solution. You will pay for your ideas. So this is a classic wedge situation when fascists are trying to kill a person and the person resists by all means available to him, and this is what annoys the executioners of the radio. It is remarkable that the threats by radio voices are made in my native Ukrainian language, and note that all of this is during wartime, when our men are giving their lives in the fight against neo-fascism. And he's right there in our native Ukraine. Considering the political implication of this grave crime initiated by Viktor Yushchenko and his right-hand man Yuri Dmitruk, my family will control this case till my old age, as the operators are constantly threatening me and my family with revenge for my resistance. And I will do my best to make this crime public. I will inform the public as necessary. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Goodbye.